Okay, there we go. Okay. Really? Okay, there we go. Whew. Alright. It's update. So look. Yeah, here's the throttle body spacer I was telling y'all about. Not the gas pedal forward. The accelerator wire, whatever you want to call it. Oh, throttle body spacer right there. Now remember, I'm not making this vehicle into a friggin' race truck or anything like that. I'm just trying to add a little bit of power. So I got a, of course, K&N. This isn't the cheap one either. This is the good one. Had the 14-inch pipe, and I did the PVC back there. I don't know if you can see it. I want to make this quick because I'm kind of busy. But yeah, run the tube. 2 clamps right there. I had to replace my throttle body sensor because my dumb butt decided to rip the whole thing out. So again, I'm a beginner. It's a learning process. So yeah, and then we got here. That's how it looks. All right there. This is a cold air intake kit. It's really simple to put on. It took me 2 hours, not even. Let's see if I can show you. Just fold it up. Threaded right there with the rubber. The shroud, basic fan cover. Called a fan cover. Fancy name for the fan cover. Support right here. And you are going to need your grommets for this kit. From the other one right there. There's another one over here I probably can't show you. Maybe you can barely see it. Big filter. I mean, this is my hand. I got a 8.5 inch hand. That's a pretty massive filter. So again, this is a 3.7 liter Dodge Magnum. Or I'm sorry, not Magnum. Sorry, I've been busy all day, so going different places. Maybe I'll show you my subwoofer hookup too. I'm running 112, but I might show that in a different video. I'm gonna do another update because I am gonna be putting a support right here because I don't know if you can see it. Wobbles a little bit. The sound is pretty cool. By the way, this isn't a build video. Again, this is just a review of the 5K, whatever. I'll show you. Right there. Give me 1 sec. So, we got here. This might not be the right. Dang it, that sucks. Okay, I threw away the box already because I was so busy. Also wanted to update on the throttle body spacer. It does appear to be working, thankfully. Tightened it, you know. Been running it with the cold air intake. Pretty good combo. I did see a performance boost. More so from the cold air intake, like I tried to explain in the last video, but I didn't do too well on. It's all more of an throttle response or better torque from this than the throttle body spacer. And that was a gimme. I already knew that was gonna. But together, they actually run pretty well. Now, I will say this, I did notice a little bit of better mileage, but like I said, it was maybe 1 mile at most. This was a K&N 5K. Hey, sucks. I threw away the box. Oh well. It was the 57. So I bought it off of Summit Racing. I believe, yeah, it was Summit Racing. It was the FIPK 57 K&N cold air intake, $300. So yes, I did pay quite a bit of money. I could have got it cheaper, waited for a sale, but I had already ordered it along with the throttle body spacer. Did not buy the throttle body spacer off of Summit Racing because they had it for $10, $15 more. With taxes, I paid 90 or 100 off Amazon for the throttle body spacer, the Helix. Summit Racing wanted like 115 for it, so I was like, nah, I'll save a bit of money, even though it is fairly overpriced to begin with. But again, you get what you pay for. This in particular was made for my 3.7 liter Ram 1500 V6. They try to explain it here, and this is actually pretty accurate. I'm not gonna lie to you, to be honest with you. I don't know how it is with the throttle body spacer, but so I'll show you. This isn't my dyno testing, by the way. This is just what they show for an 03. Mine's an 02, a little bit different. Still fits, still runs, sounds a lot better than it did. I would actually recommend this one. I would actually give this one a 4-star rating. Not a 5, just because because I haven't used it that long. I put it in maybe 3 days ago. So, but basically what they explain here is, you see torque here and your horsepower, and it was basically a 7 horsepower, 7 torque increase. That's not unrealistic. Did mine increase like that? Probably. I would say so. I haven't fully tested, done any crazy speeding or anything like that. I did test it a few times. It will make your vehicle sound a lot more aggressive. In the front, anyways, not the back. Doesn't do anything to your exhaust. This is your air. It helps it, but it doesn't, sound-wise, no. It did, however, high flow intake kit. I would say it does create a pretty good flow. You can actually hear it. Like when I'm in the cab, windows rolled up, and I start it up, you don't hear it too bad. If I'm not flooring it and I kind of do a steady acceleration, it does make a little bit of a hissing sound. Not really a hissing, it's more like you can hear the air being sucked in through that big filter. It's kind of crazy. Some people, not a lot of people like that sound, because they're like, oh, there's something wrong with my vehicle, that kind of thing. But I don't mind it because my vehicle's so old and the dash is cracked and all kinds of stuff. There's so many sounds while I'm in the cab from my vehicle by itself that adding a little bit more engine noise while I'm flooring it, if anything, is more comforting than hearing the rattling and weird, sounds of metal bending and that kind of stuff. But matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I need some struts or shocks replaced in the back. That's besides the point. This is not a build video. This was just a review. It sucks because I wish I had the darn box I could have showed you, but that is indeed. I am gonna link it in the description because that was indeed the Tip K57. I'm gonna link the exact one I bought from Summit Racing. It's not bad, from what I've seen. My throttle response and torque definitely had a little bit of a boost. If I were to just gun it before, I was getting 0 to 30 pretty quick, but it was kind of rough getting up to 40. When I mean rough, I just mean, because the gear switched and all that, I could hit 0 to 30 no problem. Now, with the throttle body spacer and especially the cold air intake added onto it, throttle body spacer helped me, it was smooth like butter. I was getting 0 to 40 like it was nothing. I mean, it was just smooth. That's what I meant. Is just it drives a little bit smoother. You know, didn't up the it upped the throttle response a little bit, but not like any kind of crazy gains or 250 or anything. Nothing like too crazy. It did, however, help with the throttle response pretty well. The what was I saying? Oh yeah, cold air intake. Cold air intake definitely did help a little bit with horsepower, but not a whole lot to where it's going to be like a major, determining factor. Does help me accelerate a bit quicker though. I will say that. And the combination of the two, I definitely don't regret, because beforehand, 0 to 50 or whatever, 0 to 60 was a bit of a pain in the butt. Now, I mean, it's definitely, the acceleration is a lot better. It's that oomph that I needed. Not the, nothing crazy. Not a race truck. Not doing anything like that. It's my daily driver. It's not, I'm not racing people from stop signs or anything like that, like I used to or anything. But, it definitely does help. Probably do another update video on it. In about might be a while, honestly. I'll probably have a video of my computer setup coming out either today or tomorrow, if I can find the time. Just a quick build setup, nothing too crazy, because I upgraded the RAM. Looks kind of cool. Yeah. Other than that, I'll give it a 4.5. If you don't like the hissing sound with the steady acceleration or slow acceleration, I get it. I was kind of hesitant about it as well, but for me, I just had kind of let out that tunnel vision. It's just kind of like, I would only recommend this for older vehicles if you pair it with a throttle body spacer though, because from what I've seen, in my personal opinion, you can have the cold air intake, but I wouldn't just throw a throttle body spacer on any old vehicle or new vehicle for that matter. Now, on the newer vehicles, having a cold air intake, yes, by itself, absolutely, I would do that. But on the older vehicles, I would pair it with something like a throttle body spacer. Now, I know that throttle body spacer, all it's doing is creating a larger volume of air to be sucked in all at once or something like that. But, like I said again, nothing, you're not getting any 25 horsepower, 25 torque from a little piece of metal going in between a tube and your throttle body spacer, or vice versa. It doesn't work that way. 5 at the most. Along with the cold air intake, maybe 15 if I'm feeling optimistic about the situation. But you're really not getting a whole lot. But you'll feel it, definitely, and you'll hear it. Believe me, you'll hear it. Especially the cold air intake. The one I put on, it sounds like I'm driving a freaking V8 or a muscle car now. In the front end, anyways, not the back. I gunned it down a empty side road. When was that? Thursday? Man, it sounded mean. I was like, yeah. It's one of those things. It sounded cool, but, it's like, is it really working? Did you lose horsepower? Did you gain it? From what I've felt, heard, seen, done the research, and from my experience with it so far, I'm fairly certain I gained a little bit from it. I've definitely gained some knowledge and experience in building and fixing engines and messing around with that kind of thing. I have a lot more to learn, but I definitely learned quite a bit. And I have fun doing it. I love working on vehicles, changing tires, oil, pressure, and the tire, and the gauges, all that. Checking engine lights, doing little tips and tricks here and there with the keys on those older vehicles. I love messing around with that kind of stuff. So I want to get into it more. Maybe in the future, hopefully, hope to God, in the future, maybe if I can find one, knock on wood, a old, what is it, first gen Cummins turbo diesel. Man, if I had one of those, shoot, wouldn't do anything crazy to it. I'd do it just like the one I got right now. It'd be so clean looking. Do a little paint job here and there, some new tires, leveling kit, and I make it. It would look so nice. That's what I'm trying to do with this truck here. I haven't had the time the last year. 2020 was kind of nuts, but not for me. Just I was really busy. And all that other stuff. It didn't really help. But I think that's just everybody. Everybody was busy in 2020. But yeah, FIPK 57 K&N cold air intake. I'm gonna link it down in the description. I've been long-winded, rambling too long. Hope at least somebody gets some kind of knowledge out of this. One thing I do want to mention, just for a tip for any of even the V8 drivers with the cold air intake, more specifically geared towards the older truck drivers. If you're driving an older truck, you can run the cold air intake. Me personally, I wanted just a little bit more oomph because I was worried about just running the cold air intake and then it not doing what, enough. Again, not turning it into a race truck, but I did want a little more kick. Anybody running, these old trucks, especially Dodge, check out the forums, like Dodge forums, stuff like that. They're not always full of crap. You will find some pretty decent information. I found one guy, he had done all kinds of stuff to it, and there was no nitrous involved. He wanted to do it, but he had changed out like a whole bunch of spark plugs, exhaust. He did a catback. I don't think he did a split. He may have done a split. Yeah, matter of fact, he did do a split. I think he tuned it for I know he did. Ran a programmer, a tuner. I don't know which one. I was looking at the Hypertech one for the 2002 Ram 1500s. They used to sell in Summit Racing. I gotta look more into it. I was also looking at the Flash Pack Diablo Sport, but that's for another video. But yeah, he recommended. There's a guy on Dodge Forum. Everybody agreed with him. They were talking about, their little experiences and stuff like that. That's what I mean. Just people with experience. But you got to take everything with a grain of salt. But, the guy did point out that he had a cold air intake, throttle body spacer, ran his exhaust, ran a programmer. He did switch out his gears. I'm a little hesitant on that, but it doesn't seem too hard. I know it is time consuming though. I think he was running 373s. I'm not completely, don't quote me on that, but I know he did switch them out to some pretty nice 410s. Some 4.10 gear ratio in the back, the rear axle ratio, some 410s. Man, I know that was pretty nice. It does limit your top speed though. That's the only catch. But for me personally, I'm in a truck. I'm not a top speed kind of guy. I'm more of I need to get up and go kind of vehicle. That's just the way mine is made. And that's not for everyone, Top speed. Some people need more top speed than they need acceleration. Me personally, I need more torque, which is what the throttle body spacer and cold air intake help with. A little bit more than horsepower. The cold air intake just added, tiny bit of horsepower. Nothing crazy. 4 or 5 if I'm lucky. I highly doubt it added any more than 10 on the silver lining. You know what I mean? But, yeah. Kind of bored today, so. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully it'll be alright. Hopefully it'll stop being cold down here. Ridiculous. But, yeah. I'm gonna link it down in the description. Hopefully if anybody sees this, you know, help them out a little bit. So, alright. Y'all have a good one. Take care.